The capture of Christ by Cimabue holds many spectacular secrets. Ostensibly, it portrays the moment when Judas betrayed Jesus with a kiss, but there are many other betrayals at work here. Look at Jesus' robe at knee level, just below where it says duccio, and we find a word that will take the most composed of us by storm. The word is castrato. Strange that we should be so accepting of his far worse fate of crucifixion, but that the idea of castration should leave us in shock. Cimabue, though, is not referring to the superficial image of Christ, but to the true identity of the character, the person this tale is all about. So who is he? If he's not Christ we're looking at, who is it? Everyone here is named, and on his head we find the true identity of this duccio. His name was Amadeus, Amaduccio to those who knew him well, and he was the Count of Savoy, the fifth of that name, and a powerful and wealthy player on the European stage. His son Iman plays the part of Judas, giving him the kiss of treason, and his elder son Eduardo is there too, dressed in red. Both had reason to loathe Amadeus. Iman says he abused them sexually, and even worse, that he murdered their mother. Cimabue tells us exactly who did the deed. The painting says that both brothers were involved, but for brevity, the text illuminated here refers only to Iman. There are also many rough but lurid sketches lost in the fabric, large and small, suggesting how it took place. Hints of a violent struggle, Eduardo perhaps holding Amadeus from behind, and Iman wielding the knife and his trophy. It needs months of painstaking study to decipher the sketches properly, though. The date all this took place is clearer. At first all I saw was a 4 and a 6, repeated many times across the robe. It seemed the 6 was part of 1316, and the 4 was on its own. So could the 4 be the day of the month that it happened? Sure enough, before the 4, I could make out the word Aprile. Could it be that there was anything significant about April the 4th, 1316? I googled it, and to my astonishment, that precise day turned out to have been Palm Sunday. So I googled Palm Sunday to see if there were any more clues, and was astounded to see, in Wikipedia, a painting by Pietro Lorenzetti, Eduardo's artistic alias. It was dated 1320, and it named Christ again as Amadeus V. On the wall, it adds that he was castrated in 1316 by Eduardo and Iman. And in the turret above, we see Iman and Eduardo in a tense situation, with Amadeus hidden in Iman's robe. But what triggered this after years of abuse? Cimabue tells us that too. Stupratori, it says, rapist. They had endured years of sexual abuse, and they knew he had killed their mother, something Duccio himself admits in his beautiful painting the Maestà. But why now, after enduring this for years, would they castrate their own father? It seems Amadeus did not stop his antics once his boys became men. I had long suspected that he had turned his attention instead to Iman's son. There is a beautiful mosaic by Iman discussed elsewhere in the blog, telling us that he had had to flee Savoy for Genoa in 1317. But who was the lad? We know him. He was famous. His name was Giotto, and he was only 8 years old. That was why. But how would Cimabue know such intimate details of Amadeus and Iman, and want to risk life and limb by telling it all in a painting? Well, contrary to all we have been told for 500 years, Cimabue was not a man. She was Amadeus's second wife, and Iman's lover, and the mother of Giotto.